Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Terence Crawford, an amazing boxer, superstar, superhero, alien, if you allow some people to describe him, right? And you can't really disagree with anyone saying Terence Crawford is any of those things. But there's something else that is becoming hard to disagree with when a person says or makes a certain statement about Terence Crawford. And that is that he's damn near impossible to want to promote or work with or have on your platform. Now, Bob Arum has kind of got the bad end of the stick because he came out and said some things about Terence Crawford that weren't favorable. And as a result, a lot of people felt Bob Arum was just unfairly categorizing Terence Crawford as a non-pay-per-view attraction, a non-boxing attraction, and just basically a guy who's just extremely high risk and just will cause a promoter to hemorrhage money. Also, Bob Arum was painted out to be a racist. Okay, these are things that Terence Crawford said. Now, one thing we know is, as far as the contractual agreements between Bob and Terence Crawford, if something's in the contract, you gotta uphold that. Okay, so if there's something Bob wasn't doing that contractually he was obligated to do, Terence Crawford has every right to sue. But at the end of the day, though, the other things Bob was saying, it made me feel like Bob really wanted to try to continue supporting Terence and to continue promoting him, but he just felt that he was hard to work with, that Terence Crawford wasn't very vocal. He wasn't doing anything to promote himself, wasn't doing anything to help build his profile and to help to really turn himself into a superstar. Now, that being said, so far, I'm in the 2 minutes 16 seconds of this video. Remember what I just said. Bob Arum said Terence Crawford isn't vocal. He's not really doing anything to build his platform, to promote himself, to build his overall marketability, right? Now look at this. BLK Prime signed Terence Crawford to a one-fight deal. And fighting in December, David Avanesian, giving this man $10 million, okay? Doesn't matter what we feel about Terence Crawford, Earl Spence negotiations, Crawford not being okay with the guarantee of $15 million. They were going to give him the $15 million. He wants to see receipts, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that, if any of that's true, which none of us know, we just hear bits and pieces, kind of ties into what Bob Arum was saying, okay? But hey, it's impossible to work with him. But Terence Crawford feels like he was robbed, right? But this is my thing. BLK Prime signed Terence Crawford. One fight deal, $10 million, man. Okay? Terence Crawford hasn't said anything. But then, all of a sudden, Adrian Broner signs a 3-fight deal. He has to fight 3 times in a year. They're paying him 8 figures, right? Now, Adrian Broner hasn't fought. Adrian Broner is such a damn trip, right? My man Adrian Broner hasn't fought 3 times. And, he hasn't done that in almost 8 years. He had to fight 3 times in 12 months. So now Adrian Broner is going to come out and do that. But the thing is this, Adrian Broner immediately took to the camera, took to the media, took to Twitter, took to Facebook, took to YouTube, took to all the different social media platforms and started bigging up BLK Prime, speaking positively about them. You know, just really talking about they're going to be the next best thing. Whether it's true or not, he still did them a solid by coming out and speaking about them. And that's what you're supposed to do. That's why, although Adrian Broner hasn't looked great since, the Maidana fight, really, going into that Maidana fight, that's why Adrian Broner will come back and still sell more pay-per-view than Bud Crawford. Come back and, right now he's rebuilding, but can still, after this year, he's going to make more money than Bud Crawford. And it's just frustrating because Bud, he got these people to put the money into it, and he won't even come out and say anything. Listen, it's one thing to be focused and locked in training camp, but this is the same thing that Bob Arum said. He hurts himself. He's doing himself a disservice by not opening his mouth. Now, we get it. Bud, he wants for his skills to speak for themselves. We got it. 99.9% of people who follow boxing think he's the pound for pound best boxer in the world right now. So at some point, you got to realize your job is done as far as how you want to be received. Okay, yeah, it's got to be a different opinion between you and him and Spence. But at the end of the day, job done. Okay, open your mouth now, man, and help out some people who've helped you. Okay, and most importantly, help yourself out. All right, it's easy to get behind Earl Spence and for Earl Spence to get a $25 million payday. He's talking, he's out there, he's in front of the camera. And Earl Spence has a crazy story, okay? Adrian Broner, he's always out there in front of the camera, all right? Always into some shit, right, whether good or bad. Crazy story with Adrian Broner. Terence Crawford, nothing. Just boring, man. Now, when he comes and talks about being a young kid and getting mixed up in the wrong thing, getting shot in the head and all of that, that's interesting. He just doesn't talk about it, you know, and I'm not saying that's the only thing he should talk about, but damn, talk about something. How are people going to connect to it, you know? And it's not even, this, like he said, it's Bob Arum doesn't like black fighters, he doesn't promote black fighters. It's not a racial thing. You understand? It's not a racial thing. I don't think so. I think there are a lot of people, because I personally think we have, well, when it comes to race and religion and all that, I think we share more congruencies and contrasts. We just choose to focus on the differences. But we have a lot more in common than we do as far as, you know, not alike, right? But if you open your mouth and start talking, no one's going to know just how much they have in common with you unless you open up and talk your story a bit. And, you know, you got to put it out there. Now, I know there's a couple little platforms where he's done these little interviews, but they're not the big platforms. You know, get your ass out there on ESPN, man. You know, get out there on some of these big platforms, man, and talk and open up. People are curious. They want to know about you. Because I think once they really get to know more about him, and then I think things for him will really start to take off. I'm not saying he has to do Dancing with the Stars. You got to be cut from a different cloth to get out there and do that. Floyd Mayweather just didn't care. Not everybody has that personality. Adrian Broner would do Dancing with the Stars because he's like, him and Floyd is similar in that aspect where they're both crazy. But for Terence Crawford, he's got to figure it out because right now, you know, I have to commend Adrian Broner, but then you can say Adrian Broner felt like he was given a second chance, a lifeline. So that's why he's talking so much. He's so excited. Where Crawford is more like, I'm supposed to get that. You know what I mean? My career isn't over. Adrian Broner's career was over. So he should be out here talking excited. These guys should just be glad that I'm doing them. If this is Bud Crawford, I'm doing BLK Prime a favor by me being the pound for pound best boxer right now, coming to their platform and giving them an opportunity to grow and expand and attract other fighters. And I can see that too. But that's not the message you want to send. I don't think so. I don't think that's the message you want to send. Because after this one fight and done, if it flops, right, then nobody's going to definitely want to touch Terence Crawford right now. Because right now, promoters are watching that, and they're not saying, damn, I should have signed him. What they're saying is, glad it's not my money. What fighters are saying, damn, what's going on over there at BLK Prime? Terence Crawford is over there. Man, I need to go see what's going on too. Just like when DAZN came about. Promoters were like, glad it's not my money. Boxers were like, man, Canelo went over there. What the hell's going on over there? You know, so these promoters, you know, you got to get that one in a kind of marquee figure, man, and market them the right way and show that what you're doing is working. And they got one of the biggest names in boxing. I'm just not sure he was the right one to sign for $10 million, but I mean, we'll find out. But Terence Crawford, there are a lot of rumblings, and the reason why I'm doing this video is because I've read the comments, And even I wondered, why is Broner talking and Crawford isn't? You know what I'm saying? And that's been the rumblings. People are just pissed off at Terence Crawford because, again, it's like with being on Bob Arum. He really didn't want to put any work in. You know what I mean? He's leaving it all on the promoter, or if they don't do it, it just doesn't get done. And he just thinks that he's supposed to continue to grow and expand his brand by not talking. It just doesn't work that way. You got to be able to market yourself, and being quiet it's just not working. Okay. But that being said, I'm not sure what else Bud Crawford can do. He's getting paid $10 million. That's good money. I'm not mad at him taking that. I understand. I do understand also behind the scenes, it's guys that make it hard. You know what I'm. You know, it is. There are people who make it difficult, man. But at the end of the day, Terence Crawford's got to figure it out, because I personally think this may be his last big opportunity to make this kind of money, unless he can come out of his comfort zone and really say, okay, let me go ahead and make myself a bit more vulnerable, and talk a little more and be a bit more active and marketing myself and really trying to grow my career. Because to be honest with you, Terence Crawford's skill set doesn't equal his market value. And that's just a fact. Adrian Broner's market value doesn't represent his performance in the ring. Adrian Broner's market value is extremely high, but his performance in the ring hasn't been all that. Okay? And that's the uniqueness of boxing. Because Terence Crawford, you would think that his market value would be higher than Broner's. And I just think once Broner comes back, especially now that he gets 3 fights, will probably be against bums, right? He's not going to fight no big name fighters. He's going to come back and get 3 outstanding wins. And watch Broner go into like a $30-40 million fight. Watch. And Crawford won't even be able to get there. Just telling you, man. Watch. This BLK Prime platform, they're not stupid. They know what they're doing. And I just think Broner, man, if he plays it right and does what they're doing. See, I'm going to stop this video because I can keep going, but if they would have handled Broner the way they handled Gervonta Davis, Broner wouldn't have fought all those hard-ass fights he fought. You see, Gervonta Davis, I'm not saying Gervonta Davis can't beat the elite between 130 and 140. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they're not putting him in there with super risky fights. They're putting him in there so he can stack his dough and make money and stay undefeated. Adrian Broner could have been the same way, but he was thrown to the wolves. And, you got to praise him for that. He fought some killers, didn't he? And he handled his business. He did well, but he fought some killers. And one of them in particular, man, rattled his cage. And hopefully he can shake that off, because he's never been the same since. And, of course, we all know I'm talking about Eminem. M squared, Marcus Maidana. But that being said, we'll see what happens with Terence Crawford after this December match he has with Evanescence. I personally don't think the BLK Prime will continue working with him if he doesn't, try to help promote the brand somewhat. I wouldn't, unless his pay-per-view just does astronomical numbers. But that being said, we'll see what happens with Crawford. I like him. I just think he's got to escape the Bob Arum, slandering and defamation, and maybe it's truth that Bob Arum kind of spewed about Crawford, but he's got to escape that somehow. And I think the only way he can do that is to not conduct himself in the way Bob Arum described him. And right now, by him not wanting to talk and promote this platform that's giving him a huge payday and opportunity, I just think that's hurting himself, and I just think that's really unfair and unprofessional. But who knows, man? You know what I'm saying? Maybe they had some agreement with Crawford, said, look, I'm not, maybe they asked him to do it, and he was like, no, I'm not doing that. And maybe Crawford feels he's doing them a favor, which he kind of is, We're talking about him now, so, I mean, I can see it both ways, but at some point, man, the relationship has to be complementary, and, you got to do your part. Everything can't be everyone supplementing and giving to you. Sometimes you got to give back. You got to reciprocate. But that being said, man, y'all keep cool. Let me know what you think about Terence Crawford. Is he wrong? Should he promote? Should he do like Adrian Broner and be a mouthpiece for his platform? Because they are kind of saving him. He could have went a whole year with no money and not making anything. He's making $10 million. Okay, but leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Hey, shout out to all people from all 7 continents, all the veterans, everyone supporting the channel. We're over 1K. Yo, we're cruising. Appreciate everything. As always, y'all keep safe and I'm in the breeze.